Greetings, beloved of God of the Hamilton Catholic Pastoral Region. Today I want to introduce to you a video series called Seasons of Prayer. And so Seasons of Prayer, my intention is for it to become a series of videos to help us to see what prayer might look like, in a family setting or as an individual. And how it might connect with different periods in a person's life or different stages of life. And I'll be inviting others to share their own stories for this video, for this video series. And so who knows? One video very well may be yours. But again, while some of these videos might be catechetical, talking specifically what about Lectio Divina or mental prayer, or reflecting on, a definition of prayer, how that eliminates it for us, or a bit from the Catechism on prayer. But most of the videos will be ordinary people reflecting on and sharing, this is what prayer looked like for me when. This is what ordinary people saying, this is what prayer looked like for me when. But before I get into our first story of what prayer looks like, I want to share with you my hopes for this video series. I have two big hopes and then some smaller hopes. But my first biggest hope for this video series is simply that we would see that prayer is what normal people do. I share this with engaged couples as they're going through marriage preparation. And when I talk about introduced parenting, one of the things I say is, I want your kids to see that prayer is what normal people do. I just think about it. Imagine how things would be different if people, as just part of their day, paused and left their mind to God. How they would see things differently. How they might be a little bit more patient or forgiving with those around them. How it might offset some of the anger and violence that we find in our world. But one of my hopes is just that you would see that prayer is what normal people do. And a second big hope is just that it would, in some way, in some part, encourage family prayer. Whether it's those who are already praying as a family, a way for you to say, hey, this is good. This is something good, we want to continue it. Or maybe for those who haven't taken that step yet. Maybe they pray on their own, but they've never tried praying as a family. To begin to pray as a family. That would be a second hope. And then there might be smaller hopes as to like personal growth in prayer. I do want that. But my two big hopes are just to see that prayer is what normal people do. And that to encourage families to pray together. So let's start. This is what prayer looked like for me when I was beginning my senior year of high school. At that time, my prayer time was in the evening just before bed. Actually it might have been when I was laying in bed, but more often I'd be kneeling beside my bed. And I'm sure it's just what was modeled for me by my parents. And often it was just a very brief, 4 minutes, walking through my day with God. Expressing thanks for things that went well. If I had a hope coming up, whether I was going to, I didn't do much in high school. Whether I was going out for the weekend and I wanted to have a good time with my friends, or I wanted to see a movie, I might share something that I was looking forward to. But just each night, walk through my day with the Lord, ask forgiveness where I needed forgiveness, give thanks where I needed to give thanks. And then I would close with an Our Father, a Hail Mary, and a Glory Be. And that's what prayer looked like for me when I was in high school. But I want to share in this video specifically one intention that I carried with me at the beginning of my senior year of high school. And that intention was this: Lord, help me to know the college that you want me to attend. Lord, help me to know the college that you want me to attend. It was a prayer of discernment. It was a prayer of discernment. It wasn't just, Lord, this is what I want, this is where I want to go, make it happen for me. But it was this understanding that God has a plan for my life. And that he sees a lot farther than I do. So I said, Lord, show me the college you want me to attend. And that was very much a part of my prayer life at the beginning of my senior year of high school. For some it might be more prayer during their junior year of high school. And I'll just share with you how that played out. It's not, I can't completely, parse out, this was God and this was me and, this was a prompting of the Holy Spirit. This was just my ordinary, being attracted to a good picture or good messaging. I can't sort that out. But I knew when I asked that question, Lord, where do you want me to go to college? I wasn't expecting like this lightning bolt, like something to just like flash in front of my eyes, like 10 times a day, every day, saying, love of God University, love of God University, love of God University. I knew it would be, I knew it would be a more gentle process. I received just little postcards. After taking the ACT, they ask you questions about what kind of college you think you want to attend, and then they give you these postcards that match up with it. And there was one that caught my eye. Its messaging spoke of, this idea of growing in virtue, growing, developing. And those were the I guess you could call them buzzwords on the card. It caught my eye. And so I visited this school in northeast Ohio. Well, yeah, towards the northeast Ohio. And there was a great sense of belonging. I mean, it was interesting. The water tower, when you come into town, says someplace special. So I don't know what to make of it, but I found that very heartwarming and affirming. But I felt a sense of belonging at the school. It carried through. And, and so when I go home to pray that night, I'd say, Lord, I liked that. But then I'd also say, Lord, show me the school that you want, the college that you want me to go to. It was actually, for me, it was a very short decision process. Because this school also had a scholarship test that I took in October, and at the beginning of November, they called with the results, and I remember Mom handed me the phone, and she commented on my just jaw dropping, as they told me that I'd won a full scholarship to this school. So again, how much is God, how much is me? But here's a school that I fell in love with the messaging. It felt at home when I visited, and now I had full tuition. And so my college search was done. And I do trust that, God was answering my prayer. Again, none of those things are necessarily of God. But any one of them could be a prompting of the Holy Spirit, just a sentiment of the heart that drew me in. And I do believe that that's where God wanted me to be. Because at that school, I did spend a considerable amount of time with the chaplain, Father Kevin Conroy, which I'm sure helped me in that process of discerning my own vocation to the priesthood. So I did get a good education there. I loved many things about my years in college. But again, just to show that what did it look like? What did prayer look like for me at the beginning of my senior year of high school? And it was that simple walk through my day at the end of the day with God. But it included that question: Lord, where do you want me to go to college? Because I understood He had a plan for me. I understood that any big life decision should include prayer and our Lord. Thank you for being with me today. I hope we are able to share many more videos in this series of Seasons of Prayer. And again, one of them might be yours. And remember the words of St. Alphonsus Liguori: "He who prays will be saved."